How's it going, guys? My name's Wilson. Some of the most successful role players in recent years who knows a thing or two about winning championships. Never one of the two best players on their roster, but having the skill sets that complements every contender good enough to start as rotational pieces. Guys who's been in plenty of big moments. Derek Fisher, for example, second most playoff games played, continuously dreamed big shot after big shots, 5 championships, 8 finals, and the clutchness of Robert Horry, the ultimate role player, ended up winning 7 championships. How about Andre Iguodala, who accepted a smaller role with Golden State, continuously makes big plays in the final minute of big playoff games, becoming a 4-time champion? How about Iggy and his coach, Steve Kerr, knows a thing or two about winning championships. As a player, super successful under Michael Jordan, nailed the biggest shot in the '97 finals, will forever be remembered as a multiple-time champion. Those were just some of the successful champions as role players, but not every complimentary guy gets a chance at winning an NBA championship. Some of them jump around from contender to the next or the other teams, always seems to have come up short, leaving them empty-handed when their careers are over. Of course, Danny Green, the starting shooting guard for 3 championship teams, the perfect modern 3-and-D. Some of today's biggest role stars seeking for their first title. Al Horford of the Boston Celtics, terrific role player last 6 years despite being the main star for Atlanta. 29-year-old Marcus Smart been in the playoffs every one of his first 9 seasons, never the main option on their squads. This video doesn't include the main option stars, but guys always known for key moments throughout many playoff runs to have never won a championship. 15 of the greatest role players who came up short in winning a title. Starting with Kyle Korver, made the postseason with 6 different teams, starting with the 05 Sixers, vital off the bench for the Deron Williams, Carlos Boozer Jazz, but always no match for Kobe's Lakers. Signed with the Bulls, during the go-ahead bomb with 48 ticks left, Game 1 versus the Pacers, his Chicago postseason debut, much needed offense and shooting for a team that struggled scoring outside of D Rose. Korver did struggle from time to time, Coach Tips wasn't too fond of him. Considered old by 2012, age 31, Chicago underestimated his longevity, traded Kyle to Atlanta, ended up playing the best ball of his career, lit up the 2014 Pacers after Game 2. The sharpshooter averaged nearly 16.6 rebounds, one of the best players in the 2015 first round series versus Brooklyn, but struggled with injuries the later rounds that year. A decent run with the 2017 Cavs, 4 of 5 from deep in the 26-point comeback, excellent spacing the floor for LeBron against the Pacers. Destroyed Toronto, going 8 of 12 from deep, Games 3 and 4, 2017 semi-sweep. Struggled in the finals though, but absolutely vital. First round series versus the Pacers, that went 7. A total 9 of 18 from downtown, 18 and 19 points scored in games 4 and 5. Narrow victories. Without his shooting, Cleveland would have lost that series. Continued to excel versus the Raptors following rounds, but didn't have it the 2018 finals. Spent his latter years with the Jazz and Bucks, had some incredible stretches in the East. A 3-point mastery, helped change momentum of games when his shooting's on point with LeBron dominating. No other teams had a chance in the East, but never found his rhythm in the finals. Had Cleveland not signed him, Korver would have still been playing for other postseason teams those years. JJ Redick of the Orlando Magic, LA Clippers, Philadelphia 76ers, and Milwaukee Bucks, 110 total playoff games, nearly 11 points, 26.5 minutes, 37% from deep, took the 6'2 sharpshooter a while to maximize his skill set. After limited minutes with Orlando, half a season with the Bucks before traded to LAC, had a breakout 2014 first round with impeccable shooting, averaged 14.3 points, finally scored above 20 points his 49th playoff game, which was most important. Game 7 versus young Golden State. The nasty one-dribble pull-ups, quick release, master at getting to his spots, one of the best off-ball movements and pure shooters, quick feet, found his niche, maximized his strength, proved his worth after averaging 13.7 points, nearly 42% from deep the 2015 first-round Spurs series, while averaging 39 minutes. Continued to get better. A playoff career-high 31 points Game 3 blowout versus Houston, but blew a 3-1 lead. Played his very best ball in his mid-30s. With Ben Simmons Sixers, JJ looked like Duke Redick. First round 2018 versus Miami, 20 points average, 28 in Game 1, 24 and 27, Games 4 and 5, him, Dario Saric, and Marco Bellinelli, the perfect role guys to pair up with Simmons' playmaking. Became the oldest player at age 34 to have his scoring best, 18.1 points, being 34 in 2019. Played well, Game 7 loss to Kawhi's Raptors, 17 points on 4 threes, the last playoff game Redick ever played. Most of the latter part of his playoff success resulted in second round exits, his only time playing in the later rounds with the 2009 and 2010 Magic. McKee of the Seattle Sonics, Indiana Pacers, retired with the Sixers, 6'9" small forward, had the physical tools, good defensive player, started for the late 80s to early 90s Sonic squad, made 3 straight conference finals from 93 to 95, 3 more from 98 to 2000, but already a bench guy by then, second team all defense from 95 to 96, a memorable Game 4 89 playoffs first round versus Houston, game winning layup to eliminate the Rockets. Indiana wasn't the most talented team, Reggie Miller the best guy, but alongside McKee and the other guys I will mention on this video, former Pacers legends Dale Davis and Antonio Davis, 137 postseason games, mostly with the 90s Pacers, 6.6 points, 8 rebounds, 14 of his 16 seasons making the playoffs. Despite his limited offense, interior presence and rebounding gave teams like the Knicks problems. One of the toughest guys, strong body, enforcer in the physical era but never dirty or crossed the line, created many extra opportunities on the glass, made the All-Star team in 2000, guarded Shaq during those finals, scored a critical last-second tip in a Game 2 win 99 first-round series versus Bucks, while Antonio traded to the Raptors in 99, a solid backup power forward for the Pacers, 3 conference finals, the second option in his 30s, put up over 16 and 11 those playoffs, also made the All-Star team in 01. Both the Davises, not related, gave the Pacers prominence. Antonio's aggressive style also embodied 90s basketball. Dawkins and Caldwell Jones of the Philadelphia 76ers, Chocolate Thunder at 6'11", started the 5, first player straight out of high school, famous for his glass-shattering dunks, a physical specimen, insane power, but not the most skilled in terms of an all-around game. Incredible human being for those fortunate enough to be around him, averaged 20 points a game in the 1980 finals, a postseason career stats of 12.6 points, 6.1 rebounds, 1.5 blocks, while Caldwell Jones played postseason ball also for Chicago, Portland, and San Antonio. 6'11" as well, started with the ABA, made 2 defensive teams, 119 NBA playoff games, 6.8 points, 8.4 boards, 1.9 blocks, an all-out hustle guy, never demanding heavy minutes or shots, part of the Dr. J Sixers that lost in 3 finals, also being included in the 82 Moses trade. Jones a big part why Magic Johnson played center Game 6 of the 80 finals, being non-existent on offense. Rest in peace to both Caldwell Jones and Dawkins. Rick Smits of the Indiana Pacers, the 7'4" Dutchman, played 104 total games, averaged a solid 14.8 points, 5.2 rebounds in 26 minutes played, over 50% shooting, being the starting center for the 90 Pacers, one of the most overlooked guys in his era, a solid scorer, a very smooth feathery touch, reliable jumper, one of the bigs. The average fan truly don't understand how great he was until players like Shaq talked about Smiths giving him trouble matching up, also swept Shaq's Magic in O'Neal's first playoff series, held the 22-year-old to under 21 a game, but much more known for his offense, bad tendencies and getting foul trouble, but often Indy's go-to scorer, similar to the early Nets version of Brook Lopez, but didn't have Brook's longevity. Smiths enjoyed 5 trips to the conference finals, a finals berth in 2000, his final season. The dunking Dutchman would drain plenty of threes in today's game, known for his clutchness, a buzzer-beating jumper Game 4 95 conference finals versus the Magic, a game with 4 lead changes, final 15 seconds, outplayed Patrick Ewing due to his height, always a nightmare for anyone to guard when getting buckets, battling most of his career drew pain. Pacers fans have nothing but positive things to say about the Dutchman. Clifford Robinson, 18-year NBA career out of UConn, one of the original stretch fours, the 6'10" sharpshooter will fit perfectly in today's NBA. A second-round pick, came off the bench first season with the 1990 Blazers, a team that made the finals. Solid playoff contributor from 91 to 93, averaged 10.6 points. Those 41 playoff games, became a first-time All-Star in 94. First of 3 straight seasons averaging 20 plus, stayed with the Blazers till 97, before signing with the Suns, played some of the small forward position, averaged 14.5 points, 5 rebounds, 33 minutes, 20 playoff games with Phoenix from 98 to 01, was the starting power forward for Detroit 02 and 03 before Rasheed Wallace. Spent his last 3 seasons in New Jersey, well past his prime, played till 40. went from competitive beginnings to being part of the background, drawing MJ's shrug game in '92 to playing against LeBron in his very last playoff series, a huge asset to the '90s Blazers' success under Clyde Drexler, Terry Porter, and Jerome Kersey, a key spark off the bench, solid on D. Uncle Cliffy once played 461 games in a row, the one-time All-Star, long successful career. He might never make the Hall of Fame, but one of those guys that resonates with '90s NBA fans, well respected amongst his peers, 141 postseason games, average over 10 points, one of those guys many wish had won a title. Uncle Cliffy will be missed. Marcus Camby of the New York Knicks, Denver Nuggets, and Blazers made the finals as a backup, third season. The four-time blocks champion might have never made an all-star team, but a monster at protecting the rim, stepped up for the injured Patrick Ewing, averaged 18.8 points, 11.8 rebounds, 2.5 steals, 3.3 blocks from games 3 to 7, upsetting the Pacers en route to the finals. His first and only trip there. Only other time making the conference finals in 2000, won DPOY in 07, limited offensive game, mostly a pick and pop jump shooter and open dunks, made 5 straight postseasons for Denver, but all first round exits in the loaded West. Knicks fans livid when he was traded for Antonio McDyess in 02. Despite having a 17-year career, Camby's energetic style of play caused many injuries, never became the offensive dread he was in college, never averaged above 15 points in any season, but the perfect definition of a very good role player. Hedo Turkoglu, unathletic looking, but 6'10 with great handles, started his career with the Kings as a reserve, a season with San Antonio, before making a name for himself in Orlando, a memorable 3-year postseason stretch from 07 to 09, numbers of 16, 5, and 5, drive understatement Gundy system, can shoot and pass, a way better version of Joe Ingles, unselfish, a knack for seeing the floor with his size as a point forward, despite being one of the least athletic guys out there, always created enough space to hit an ugly line drive jumper. Super clutch down the stretch, hit a lot of daggers, second most important player on that 09 Magic team, led Orlando in scoring those finals. Turk would fall off after getting a huge contract, never the same afterwards, was never an all-star, but played like a top 15 player during the 2009 playoff run. Vlade Divac of the Lakers, Hornets, and Kings, 7'1", had skills way ahead of his time, whether it was the passing, decent jumper, or the flopping. Big Vlade, numbers of 12 a game, 7.5 boards, 31 minutes, never the best or second option, but a perfect complementary big. Only reason he didn't make a defensive team, playing in the best big men era, well-rounded. His kryptonite, running into Phil Jackson, whether it was with MJ in '91 or the controversial series in '02, the Serbian center, super clever, high IQ, great natural instincts, immediately filled the center role after Jabbar's retirement, started all 19 playoff games for the '91 finals team, averaged around 18 and 9 and 2 steals, almost 2.5 blocks in those finals, with his team being short-handed. Had it not been for Magic Instant's retirement, Divac might have been a multiple-time All-Star playing alongside the best point guard ever, a solid center throughout the '90s Lakers before the Kobe trade, solid for the Hornets, the perfect 5 for Sacramento, complimenting Chris Webber, made one All-Star team in '01 due to being Shaq's replacement, averaged a respectable 14.5 points, 10 boards in the '02 Lakers series, but will always be remembered for the back tap leading to a Robert Horry game winner. One of the European pioneers, teammate C-Web tore his ACL in '03, would have looked even better in the modern NBA, reminds me of a 2010s version of Marc Gasol. John Starks of the New York Knicks, 8 seasons of playoff ball, one of the greatest undrafted players all time, out of Oklahoma State, just one of 4 colleges he attended. An awful rookie season, 36 games with Golden State, then lost his contract, played in the CBA, Knicks signed him. Starks represented that New York hard-working attitude, combined with having Pat Riley in '92 and still toughness in the backcourt's DNA. Played physical, became a starter by '93, averaged 16.5 points, 6.5 assists that playoff run, earned himself as a great two-way player, the second scoring option behind Ewing after starting from the bottom. Played on a bad knee in '94, captured the heart of the Garden crowd. Fearless, despite having a terrible '94 Game 7, Starks continued to be solid, intense, and physical, wasn't intimidated by the Jordans or Reggie Millers of the world, made the most of his basketball abilities by maximizing hard work. Everybody from the '90s would have a different opinion on Starks, depending who they cheered for. Had he been picked up on a bad team instead of the Knicks, who knows if he would even last 3 years in the NBA. Sam Perkins, the former UNC legend, drafted 4th overall the historic '84 draft behind his former teammate MJ, the 6'9" sharpshooter became a key piece to the mid to late '80s high-power offensive Dallas Mavericks, put up double figures his first 13 seasons, the best shooting big throughout the '90s. Perkins would be wanted for all 30 teams and easily sign a contract worth over $100 million today. A key piece for 4 different playoff teams, appeared in 3 different finals. First for the '91 Lakers, one of the original stretch fives, playing center half the time, then with the '96 Sonics, and finally the 2000 Pacers. Made an incredible name for himself late game 1 when Sam drilled the dagger 3, giving LA a 1-0 series lead in a win over the Bulls. Super unique for his time, 167 total playoff games played, realistically the first original stretch 5 the NBA has seen, super long arms despite never winning a title. Man, was he smooth. Charles Oakley of the New York Knicks, former teammates with Jordan in the Bill Cartwright deal, one of the toughest and most intimidating players for his time, no nonsense. Oak appeared in 144 playoff games, averaged nearly 11 points, 10 boards, 35.5 intense minutes, super tough, knew how to get under the other team's skin, the heart and soul of the '90s Knicks, the one-time All-Star, averaged 12-4 for the '94 team, the king of confrontations, a natural-born leader, never afraid to speak his mind, the leader of hard work, a blue-collar work ethic. Buck Williams of the Nets, Blazers, and Knicks, an all-star 3 of his first 5 seasons in Jersey, a rebounding machine, 6'8", won Rookie of the Year in '82, great defender and low post scorer, high efficiency, put up over 12 boards a game each of his first 6 seasons, an 18 and 12 guy in his prime to start in Jersey, but more of a role player with the '90s Blazers, part of the Sam Bowie trade, given the Nets' lack of playoff success. Only out the first round in '84 in Jersey. Drexler, the star of the Blazers. Williams helped turn around 4 straight first-round exits after winning just 39 games the season before. Williams' impact led the Blazers to a blistering 179-67 record from '90 to '92, 2 finals trips, 3 straight conference finals, sacrificed his stats to being an old-school enforcer around the rim, defensive first team in '90 and '91, just ran into the Bad Boys and Jordan in the biggest stage. Had it not been for Williams taking his talents to Portland, Drexler probably losing quick playoff exits, 108 total playoff games, average 11.2 points, 8.7 boards, a great leader, one of those guys many wish have won a title. Jeff Hornacek of the Utah Jazz, 140 postseason games played, many big moments, second rounder out of Iowa State, a key contributor with the '90 Suns alongside Tom Chambers and Kevin Johnson, a 54-win team that upsetted the Lakers, made the conference finals, a 20-point scorer in his prime, made his first and only All-Star team in '92 before being part of the Barkley trade, only a season and a half with Philly before becoming the 3rd most important player from the '94 to 2000 Jazz, super effective combo guard, a killer mid-range jumper and 3-point shooter, could handle and distribute when needed given the pace and style of '90s NBA. Coach Lone limited his squad to shooting just a combined 8 threes a game. Excellent moving without the ball, underrated defender, 2-time 3-point contest winner, 4 career conference finals, 2 NBA finals appearances, one of the best second rounders the game has ever seen, playoff career numbers of 15 points, 4-4, 43% from deep, the type of guy who would have helped any playoff caliber team throughout the '90s. Honorable mentions includes Andre Miller of the Denver Nuggets, Portland Trail Blazers, Sixers, Wizards, and briefly Spurs. One of the most underrated point guards in the 2000s, a great passer with a nice post game, but arguably better than some players on this list. But due to playing just only 68 playoff games and never advancing past the second round, Miller never truly came close to winning a title. While Raja Bell only played 68 games in the playoffs, wasn't as established early on with the '01 Sixers and '03 Mavericks, but super vital for the '06 and '07 Suns team before trading to the Bobcats and barely heard from again. While Doug Christie, a defensive monster for the '01 to '04 Sacramento Kings, only played 58 postseason games and 10 playoff games outside of Sacramento. Bobby Jackson also played 58 total postseason contests, the 6-man winner in '03, while George Hill played a ton of playoff games but never won a second round game with the San Antonio Spurs, played his best with the Indiana Pacers, a decent career. While Lou Williams only got deep in the playoffs in the bubble and the conference finals 2021 Hawks, Jamal Crawford never made the conference finals. They might be better than some players individually on this list, but due to the lack of deep playoff runs, I can't put them on this list, but they could be on my 6-man list on the link to the video above. Thanks so much for watching this video. Which one of the players that I mentioned on this list did you wish won a championship? Who's the most underrated role player all time that never won a title? Who deserves it the most? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.